welcome back to Forum Biz Talk. This is your host and creator, Pete De La Torre. It's my pleasure to bring on to the program Leslie Marenco, and she is trust counsel, attorneys, and counselors at law.
Thank you. So I am an estate planning attorney. I deal mostly with families and with business owners. Our firm is in Coral Gables, and we are a bunch of partners, and we all do pretty much the same thing. Mm-hmm. So I've been an attorney now for about 10 years, practicing in this area, and I love it.
So you like dealing with the problems of the families, but I mean, I salute you because that is not easy because it tends to be a little emotional, maybe just a little bit, right?
You know, I always say like there's two very different components to planning. And one is always that family component, and then there's a whole different kind of left brain structuring component. And you really need to balance the two, because trying to do tax planning or corporate planning and structuring and then ignoring the family dynamics is just a recipe for disaster. So you really have to at least have some type of social skill and really just not be a tax attorney.
But that's the thing. I mean, you got to come in and you know the facts and you know the law and you know the procedures and the systems and all of that. But when you're dealing with families, it's just what you just said, Leslie. You got to come in ready for all the stuff, all the intangibles, and then try to take that and lead them, guide them down the route of talking them legalities. And that's got to be, I'm sure it's taken time to build that skill set, but that's where the trust comes in, right? With the families, it isn't just you're hitting them with the facts. You're just engaging, going through that process first. Now, Leslie, your clients are not just Hispanic clients. I mean, I'm sure you have Anglo families and all that. Do you see more of a challenge with Hispanics than you do with, say, the non-Hispanic community in dealing with issues like this?
Do I see more of a challenge? I think it is a little bit different, for sure, especially on the estate planning side. The business succession is a whole different animal, but on the estate planning side, you certainly see over the course of time certain things that you go, oh, I just know. Like Hispanic families, when you ask them the question, for example, perfect example, do you want to protect this for the next generation so that if your child gets a divorce or something like that, that your inheritance is protected? That is a very, very strong yes from any Hispanic family. Mm-hmm. Actually, I would say on the Anglo side, as you said it, that isn't such a strong yes. A lot of times they're like, I love my in-law, they're great, she's wonderful, or my daughter's husband is phenomenal guy, so it is what it is. After I'm gone, if they get a divorce, I'm not going to try to plan for that. I think culturally, Hispanic people want to keep it in this idea of a bloodline. Mm-hmm. So you get that immediately, a resounding yes, I want to protect the next generation and the generation after that, and to make sure that no other creditor can come in and take it, one of your biggest creditors being your ex-spouse. So,
really?
For sure.
Does that exist?
Does that divorce?
I've got a couple minutes left, and I want to leave a couple of ideas for our listeners today. There's a couple of things, 2 or 3 things action steps that if a family, that successful business has not sat down and talked these things through, what should they, what's the pain of not doing this and of not taking action?
Oh boy, I mean, if I could leave the audience with one thing, it's number one, your estate plan really needs to coordinate with your business succession plan, right? If you have a business which has one child or multiple children working in it, and when I say children, these are usually 50 and 60-year-old persons at this point. I don't mean minor or small children. But who's working the business, who's not, what powers are each of those people going to have after mom and dad pass away. All of those things have to coordinate with each other. They need to relate back to each other. They need to speak to each other. So just going and setting up your wills and your trusts, and that's great. That's definitely your foundation. But you're going to need to make sure that your corporate documents and your succession of management, of power, of what rights and responsibilities each have, coordinate with your estate plan. If not, you're missing a huge piece of the puzzle.
Absolutely. So, to wrap it up, Leslie, how can the audience connect with you?
Well, actually, I would really love for anybody listening right now to connect with me on LinkedIn. It's Leslie Marenco. I am going to be the only Leslie Marenco here in Miami, and I would really love for them to connect with me there. In LinkedIn, you're going to find all of my information for my firm. And you can email me, you can call us. I feel like we are very accessible.
Fantastic.